spatula, measuring spoons, measuring cups, a knife to cut the shortening of butter, rolling pin, of course, a bowl to put the whole 9 yards in. There you go. A pan, and then a pastry cutter. If you're going to be using a pastry cutter, I'm going to be using a food processor. So I have found that I am not a great pie crust maker. I just think that those people are born that way. And my pie crusts made with a pastry cutter are no better than the ones that I make with the food processor. If you do not want to use any kind of fats at all, then I would suggest adding silken tofu to the fillings that I have for these two desserts. And you can make something that's also gluten-free. For those of you who want a flaky crust pie crust, this is what I got from Capt Danger, and I make these with no cholesterol ingredients and non-hydrogenated ingredients. So here we go. Unbleached flour, whole wheat pastry flour, a little salt. As I said, non-hydrogenated shortening and non-hydrogenated margarine. Ice water and a little bit of sugar. I'm going to take these, I'm actually going to take most of this stuff and put it back into the refrigerator. These will go into the freezer. You do not want to take these out of the freezer until you're ready to use them. You want everything to stay really, really cold. I'm doing this from this angle because it can be done quickly, and pie crusts need to be done quickly. So now I'm just going to pulse this. These are all the dry ingredients. These are the fats, and I literally took them out of the freezer, and they are cold. Very, very cold. And I'm putting them over the top, and now I'm going to pulse this. Do not run your food processor, but pulse it. You see how these are little pearls? There's little pieces in here. And I'm going to pulse it just a couple more times just to put some more in. But you want that fat to stay a little bit round. You don't want to turn it into something that's really mushy, because it's the fat pockets that are going to create that wonderful flakiness. Now I'm going to put just a little bit of water on this. Again, pulse it. Parts are going to start coming together. You see these pieces are coming together? So now I'm going to squish them together and put them in wax paper and stick them in the refrigerator for a half an hour. Okay, each one of these is going to be a pie crust. And I have it on wax paper. And then try not to touch these as much as possible. As you see, I didn't make them very pretty. I just made them so that they'll stay on the wax paper. And then I'm going to fold them up and put them into the refrigerator for 30 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to make the sweet potato filling. All right, so here is our very, very cold pie crust. And we're going to flip it. This is how I check it against my pie pan, so I have an idea of where I have to cut off and fill in the blanks for the rest of the crust. Just like I would cut this piece here, and I know that I'm going to be fitting it in over here. And this piece over here can be fit in over here. Alright, now I'm just going to roll this onto my rolling pin, and then I'm going to put it in my pie pan. Okay, so now I put it in, and I scrunched up some of the pastry dough at the top. And what I'm doing is I'm just taking a fork and I'm going around and I'm just making a little pattern around the sides. Okay. Also, if you have little holes in the bottom, you know, like you get it and it just doesn't quite fit, just take a little piece of the pastry dough, put it in, and just kind of mush it a little bit, and it'll be just fine. It'll be in there just fine. Heat your pie crust until it's warm. I put it in for like 2 to 3 minutes, and then it's warm, and then we're going to put in our filling.